On this page of the graphic novel, we are introduced to Guy Gardner, who is the main character in this section that we'll be focusing on. As you can see, he's very disrespectful towards the women getting him a drink, asking if she also gives massages. This is a reference to the world that we live in today with the Me Too movement, how it's becoming more and more relevant in our world, and also just how disrespectful he is as a character in the book and how it will go forward. On this page, we see Guy Gardner with two girls on either side, and then as the slide keeps going, there's going to be a bad guy up above him. This page takes up the whole entire page in the graphic novel, so one whole panel is devoted just to this image, and obviously the author wants to make sure that the literary technique is used of foreshadowing because the monster is over him, but it's not actually happening. This is a cover for what is going to be happening in the later slides, in the later panels. On this page, we are focused on the panel on the left-hand side of the screen where Guy Gardner is using dialogue. He sees the plane on the right crash into the mountains and knows as his duty as a Green Lantern he should be helping, but he doesn't anyway because he's on vacation. This would be his refusal to the call in the hero's journey, but throughout this part of the graphic novel, the hero's journey is very jumbled and out of order, but this is a permanent step. On this page, we are formally introduced to the red monster that is going to be Guy Gardner's enemy. You can notice how the visual technique is used of changing color schemes to more of a red and green as a jungle opposed to a beachy feel. On this page, Guy Gardner fights with the red monster. He makes smirky remarks as he keeps fighting him, and lots of sound effects are used as onomatopoeia. At the end, he screams, "Get me the manager," because he's very mad that his vacation has been ruined. This is a reference to people in today's society on how they get mad when things don't go their way, especially on vacation. Here we notice again how a whole image is taken up on one half of a page. A whole page is devoted to this one image, which obviously shows its significance to the author and what should rub off on the reader. The color scheme switches to an all-green feel, which is very dramatic. Here the color scheme switches again and goes from a sunset feel. As the panels go down, it gets lighter and lighter, just like a sunset. Guy Gardner is fighting for his ring and describes catching it as a touchdown. This is the only reference to a sport on Earth that is played in the whole entire novel, and it is very, very significant. On this page, Guy Gardner's boss, the head of the Green Lanterns, comes and yells at him for the mess he's made. He doesn't take it lightly because he doesn't like to be yelled at as any strong man would. He also takes his girls, which made him even madder. He even sends him off to do more dirty work in space when he gets to spend time with the girls. This shows how everyone in the world hates their boss, no exceptions. Here we see the first time in the graphic novel where the color of black and blue and purple are used together. This is when Guy goes off on his mission to do the dirty work in space, and it's the first time the author uses the new visual scheme and colors. Here we see again a whole page is used just for one image. The author really wants to show us how strong Guy Gardner is and how prominent he is whenever he is being described in this story. He's with another Green Lantern, but you can see how he takes the main role and is in the middle of the screen, showing his dominance. This is another example of a whole page being used for one image, a very detailed image of his fellow Green Lantern yelling at him for messing up on the planet where he destroyed the beach resort. Everyone's mad at him right now, and he wants to make it up to them. On the last page where we see Guy Gardner in the graphic novel, he's using a vacuum that he makes out of his ring to vacuum up a monster. The color scheme switches back to a more green, purpley feel, a more spacey feel, and it also shows how Guy Gardner is human, and humans would think of a vacuum to sweep something up, unlike aliens who would probably think of a sword or another way to defeat a monster. Guy Gardner is very unique throughout the whole novel, and this really shows how creative and human-like he is.